Especially in the first half against Rutgers and watching film, but it's obviously a positive to end the half the way we did, and then Rutgers showed their Steve Peichel pride, and it was a solid performance, and now we move on and learn some things from that game and face a very different team in Iowa. Ben's done a terrific job. Year one, brought some of his former players with him. That's helped. They're very, very good defensively. They're very, very talented offensively. Obviously, things start with Bennett at the point, who's stepped right in and been just as effective a player in the Big Ten as he was in the Missouri Valley and at the Division II level. They've got some other players that I think are excellent players, pros, and expect a hard-fought, tough, physical basketball game. I think it's they're deservedly ranked and have been very, very good this year. So we'll have to play extremely well to win.
I was very deliberate, I would say, on offense. Like to dictate their pace. But what's key for your guys to?
So are we. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's always about guarding. It's always about rebounding. It's about taking care of the ball. They force a lot of turnovers. They got great hands. They're going to try to be as physical as any team in the league. We've got to handle that. Whatever the pace is, the pace is. We've played 60 possession games. We've played 85 possession games. It doesn't matter. We're going to do what we do.
Beyond being talented, what's allowed Bennett to keep being successful at the levels that he's climbed up to?
Doesn't matter who he's played against, what level he is. He's got great poise. He's got elite hands defensively, so he can guard. Great size, terrific shooter with range. Elevates everybody else. Just what you would want in a very cerebral, smart processor, decision maker. Nothing rattles him, and he just is. He's got that ability to make his teammates better, and everybody talked about him as an All-American, and deservedly so.
Do you go back and look at Drake from a year ago or whatever, because they brought so many players, or is what they've done this year enough to get ready?
There's enough, and I don't want to say we wouldn't watch. It's more about watching people who play similar to us, maybe what they do, but there's enough sample sizes out there for this year to see what he's all about.
I know you guys implemented the shot medal chart this offseason, and last game was pretty close to, I think, what you want, threes and layups. How do you feel like that's coming along as, I don't know, an incentivizer or just furthering what you guys believe in?
Yeah, the biggest thing is it gets ingrained in our players, so they know what good shots are. And I mean, we're not Rutgers. We're not taking those shots. Those guys get subbed out when we take them. So we want them to be within a couple feet of the rim if we're taking twos, layups, and threes. And again, if you're in the shot clock, you're gonna have to take a more difficult one. But the biggest thing is it's ingrained in our guys now that those are the shots we want.
That's good. You didn't have any worries about Tommy, and he came on strong into that game. Was that kind of the version of him that you'd like to see moving forward?
Yeah, it's everybody has a bad game, or sees a coverage, or sees something that doesn't allow you to maybe have your best night. I still want more from him on the glass. It was a unique night. We didn't have to play guys a ton of minutes, but it's just simply based on the coverage, and what we do with him is, you got a couple baskets cutting, you got a three here or there, you got a post up. You know, he got the wide array of what his capabilities are, but it was just a matter of taking advantage of the coverage. And you know, we're not a big set team. We're not a team. We're just going to play on the coverages and the reads, and you know, I think the thing he did the best was cut and move. You know, and then if you're going to hard hedge Keaton and show he's a pretty effective player in a pop, and you know, just took what the defense gave him.
So I can't remember if it was the first half or second half. We saw an extended run for the Twins together out there. What goes into your process of developing that trust and kind of comfort in doing that more or less?
Yeah, it's probably more personnel based on the other side. You know, where we can find the matchups, where we can make sure that we're not putting ourselves at a disadvantage on the defensive side with a certain matchup. You know, it worked okay in that game. I had planned on using it a little more in the Penn State game, and obviously Tommy's foul trouble hindered that. But again, I think it's all about the matchup. There was some positive things. There was some negative things. We had a little drought, you know, offensively. But you know, that wasn't necessarily their fault either.
Andre talked about Thursday night, like Tommy was a selling point for him to come here. Just what, you know, Tommy at his best. What does that mean for the guys around him?
Yeah, he's a veteran. He knows us. He knows he's very popular. Like I said, this team's connectivity, their closeness, their chemistry is all a positive, and then a lot of that stems from Tommy. He's been here in the program. He's been in Champaign. He's been on our campus. He's been through the Big Ten, and so his word carries some weight. And you know, obviously, the Balkan connection was, I'm sure, a factor with you know, with Dre as well, and some trust in that part of it. But you know, Tommy's a strong voice on our team, and that comes from experience.
There was a moment Z got, I think, his thumb taped up in the game. Is he okay? Is that anything you expect to? He played, but I shouldn't
Yeah,
expect
it was. It's. He hit it on the, blocked the shot and crushed it on the backboard, and so it just needed to be taped up a little bit. And you know, it was nice we didn't have to overextend his minutes or play him too much in that second half. So you know, he's fine.
Tommy was such a connector last year. I mean, you have maybe more guys that can be that this year, but would you like to, I mean, if the opportunity is there to maybe run some more stuff through him?
No. Why? We're third in the country in offense. We play through Keaton. And we're not saying we wouldn't play through him. We do. But it's pretty evenly distributed. So last year we didn't have that. I think it's one of the advantages that this team has. So we're third in the country in offense. So I don't know why we want to tinker too much with what we're doing, spacing, playing through him, rolling him. We probably run more sets to Tommy than we do anybody else. But because it looks different, but is more personnel based, but we're sure not going to argue with the results we've been having on that side.
Kind of putting breadcrumbs out there about more turnover, forcing more turnovers. What beyond getting your hands on? Like, how do you guys generate those a little bit more, and how? What do you feel like you're at there?
Keep stressing it. That's all I can tell you. We're trying, and yeah, I think we were 44 after the Nebraska game in DR. I think we're 18. We're doing a lot of the right things. We've just got to come up with them. And to me, it's more about, yes, would I would like to see them? Absolutely, I would love to see a few more because we're so efficient offensively. A few more trips would be great. But we've been doing a lot of pretty solid things defensively, and I'm not going to do it at that expense where we're giving up those opportunities just to gamble or be reckless on the defensive side.
You made it pretty known you wanted more out of Andre on the glass. That's been happening. What does it say about him to take that challenge, those challenges?
It's been awesome. He's been incredible. I think he's our leading offensive rebounder since December 1st. You start looking who those opponents are in those games. I couldn't be any more pleased with the way he has developed. And, he doesn't take 30 dribbles to get, to have to score and shoot a hard two like he did. He's he had an extremely efficient 12 and 8 the other night in a game when we played 25 minutes and we didn't have to overextend him. Zerno hit a pretty hard shot the first 3 of the game, and he's turning into, he's bought in for a young man who missed 7 weeks of practice. He's bought in defensively at a really high rate, and he's bought in to be an unbelievable teammate. And you put him, Keaton, Kylan together, you've got 3 pretty strong defenders now, and that's what that young man needed to do. His offensive skill set is he's a proven scorer, but he's a guy that doesn't have to do that. He's becoming a guy that's turning into a pretty good all-around player.
So much starts for Iowa. What stands out about the guys around him?
They're pros. You've got pros around him. Howard's a pro. Koch is going to be a pro. Just drawing a blank, the number 7, I know, the international kid I'm drawing a blank is Fulgaris is a pro. He's got really good players about him. They put a heck of a team together, and he just elevates them. And Bennett's going to be a first-round pick. That's a very, very talented basketball team, and Bennett's done it. At every level. When I think of him, I think of winner. I see smart. I see cerebral, intelligent. All those adjectives you want to use when it comes to the brain, and he's just he's got that knack, and there's not many players that have that.
Thanks, Brad.